This is the good part. Good. Finally.
Hello, dear. How are you today? You know those firemen? The funny ones with the color sense? Looks like they misplaced a bolt of expensive fabric. Of course, each one of them suspects the other. Looks like a catfight is brewing. Don't forget to put the papers out for Jimmy. You know how he gets.
There now, see how easy it is? Things are so much better between us when you remember the paper in the morning. And let's keep them that way.
Did you say hello to your father for me? Thank God for that, at least.
Those silly woolies down at the fire station are just incensed about losing some decorating stuff. Some people. Yeah. Maybe they should be more concerned with fire and less with flame.
You might want to be extra nice to Mr. Potsdam today, Steve. He was turned down by the lodge again. Guess we're having the wedding at Mr. Moynihan's after all. Give my regards to your parents.
I'm glad to see you. I feel so alone, cooped up in here. You know the firemen? Someone stole some fabric from them, and they're up in arms about it. Why would firemen spend their time decorating? Only in harvest. Come back and visit me soon, okay? I'm glad to see you. You know the Another harmless prank? And how many more harmless pranks will you be pulling?
However many it takes to get in, Stephanie. If I have to use them to escape, then I will.
Are you using them? Or are they using you?
It was just a bolt of cloth.
You've turned the firemen against each other. They think one of their own stole it.
Would you rather stay here? I've heard that harvest is lovely in the fall when the leaves turn orange and gold, and the annual blood drive paints the town red.
All right. You have a point. Come back and visit me soon, okay?
Okay. Okay. Well, that didn't work.
Boy, the way you keep pestering me, you'd think you were feeling guilty about something. Are you? I got a report here that someone put a ding on Johnson's Tucker. As ornery as Johnson is about that old car, I suppose he had it coming. I imagine it was just some kids pulling a prank. I'm nowhere near solving the Tucker case, and now I have to deal with a bunch of firemen throwing a hissy fit over some stolen cloth. Can you imagine? What the heck is going on around here? You look upset, boy. Is something wrong? Hoppin' horny toads! You think it's Karen? Oh, this'll break Edna's heart sure as shit on a hairy dog's ass. How am I going to tell her? She'll be crushed. You think Edna will close down the diner after she hears? Think maybe I'll tell her after lunch. Thanks for the lead, Steve. And boy, don't leave town.
Oh, I wouldn't think of it.
Did you hear that McKnight was killed? Isn't that something? And you know what? Whoever did it didn't even think to look in his wall safe. Just goes to show you. Accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. Stop on by any time, Steve.
Sorry, I don't feel up right now. To talking, that is. Anytime, kiddo.
I can't talk now. The dishes are stacked up and back, and I better take advantage of the lull. I feel terrible about what happened at the fire station. Those firemen helped me decorate my diner. I can't believe one of them stole that cloth from the others. It must have been someone else, don't you think? Oh my God. I can see it in your eyes. Karen's dead, isn't she? You wouldn't lie to me, would you, Steve? That wouldn't be a kindness. It really wouldn't. I can't talk. Karen's little purse. Oh. Here's your reward money. Please, take it and go. I can't talk now. I feel... Oh my... You're lying. You're telling me this just to get the reward.
I wouldn't do that.
Do you have any proof then? Get out of here. Get out, God damn you! I can't talk. I can't... Oh my... You're lying.
I wouldn't do...
Do you have any proof then? Karen's little purse. Oh. Here's your reward money. Please, take it and go.
Can't talk now, buckaroo. We're on in just a sec. Happy trails, buckaroo.
Seeing you here again, one would think you'd never graduated. Nostalgia is a waste of time, big guy. You need to move forward, and if you ask me, the lodge lies firmly in that direction. Mr. Johnson says one of my pupils scratched his priceless tucker. I must say, I was relieved when I learned he had no evidence pointing to one of my kids. If he had, some lucky boy or girl would have been in for some quality time. Say, I heard you found the remains of the Fitzpatrick girl. Is it true that her spinal cord had been ripped out?
Yeah.
Shame a callow fellow such as yourself had to see such a horrible thing. But eventually, every man must turn off his Range Rider nightlight and stare wide awake into the darkness with adult eyes. Butchered little girls and stains on linen, all a part of growing up. Drop in again soon. Adult education is a wonderful thing, as is adult quality time.
Think about taking some of that siding off my hands, son. I'll cut you a nice price on it. I tell you, the only thing worse than a fire station full of sissies is a fire station full of pig sissies. They're all accusing each other of stealing some silk underwear or something. Boy, whoever said fighting fire with fire'd be happy in harvest. 'Cause we got a fire station full of flamers. Nice to see you again, Steve.
I can't talk now, son. I'm busy with this game. Anytime, Steve.
Hello, Steve. Care to buy anything today? Okay, dear. You check back if you decide there's anything you want. I'll be happy to help you. Come back soon. Naughty fellows like Deputy Loomis aside, I think every man should cultivate an interest in girly magazines, if it'll keep them out of the field of interior design. Those firemen, Betsy, you should hear them carrying on, accusing each other of being thieves. A bolt of cloth disappears. You'd think it was the end of the world. Well, now that the mystery's over and you found Karen torn limb from limb, a mutilated lump of flesh in the dirt in the graveyard, I hope we can finally get rid of all those missing children's signs. They clutter the scenery so.
If it isn't my favorite son-in-law, what brings you here again? So, you found that poor little darling after all.
Her skull and spinal cord were torn out of her body.
You don't see that every day.
There was something oddly ritualistic about how it was done.
Now don't go reading too much into this. Karen was a friendly little girl. Maybe she got too friendly with the wrong person. Going around, kissing everybody, climbing in men's laps without so much as a by your leave. That's just asking for trouble. They've got a word for girls like that. Slut. Well, of course you're right. Poor little thing.
Karen Slope.
If it isn't my favorite son-in-law, what brings you here again? So, you found that poor little darling after all.
Her skull and spinal cord were torn out of her body.
You don't see that every day.
There was something oddly ritualistic about how it was done.
Now don't go reading too much into this. Karen was a friendly little girl. Maybe she got too friendly with the wrong person. Going around, kissing everybody, climbing in men's laps without so much as a by your leave. That's just asking for trouble. They've got a word for girls like that. Slut. A nasty little girl. Still, it's a darn shame.
Hello, dear. Come to see Stephanie, have you? Why then, whatever are you here for? I'm busy making cookies for the bake sale. Why not go speak to Mr. Potts? Give my regards to your parents. You might want to be extra nice to Mr. Potston today. Guess we're having the wedding at... Give my regards to your parents.
I'm glad to see you. I feel so alone, cooped up in here. Is it true? You found Karen?
Too late, Stephanie. I found her body by the picnic table in the cemetery. I think whoever buried it there came back and dug her up again.
My God. Why?
I don't know. But I do know her spinal cord had been removed. What I found looked more like a pile of entrails than a little girl.
This is not just an eccentric little town. We're stranded in hell, aren't we?
Not for long.
Hello, Steve. How's the husband-to-be?
Other than having no memory, I guess I'm all right.
All right? You should be ecstatic, considering what you...
right.
You are... Bye now. Sorry, Steve. Too tired... Bye now. Sorry, Steve. Bye now.
Young man, we really have nothing to say to each other. I have the feeling your image shall soon adorn my slab, and I'd rather not know the face of the meat I'm slicing. What kind of monster would cut down so young a child? I don't get nearly as much for the smaller coffins. I'd say it's been a pleasure, but I find the company of the living so wearisome.
Exquisite cloth. Its loss should trigger quite a bit of dissension amongst our gallant firefighters. Still, that is not your concern. Your next assignment is to break into the tonsorial establishment of Mr. Pastorelli and abscond with his prized barber's pole. Don't be absurd. Of course you are. This cloth bears witness to that truth. You've already compromised yourself. Stop here, and it was all for nothing. But that's for you to decide. Exquisite cloth. Its loss should trigger quite still. Lack of respect for authority. A fine trait for a member of the Order. Yes, I approve, Stephen. I hope you succeed in your task. Break into the shop, steal the barber's pole, and bring it back to me. At that point, I shall give you your final task.
Yeah.
Okay, Steve. Consider your get-out-of-jail-free card used. You're free to go.
Yeah.
Welcome to our order.
The hand that grips life is
Leave me alone, will ya? This is the good part. Hey, if they gave a badge for finding dead little girls, guess you'd be an Eagle Scout now. Huh, Steve? Poor Mr. Sensitive. Did I hurt your feelings, girly boy? Give me a break. Hey, if I'd known where she was, I'd have dug her up too. Good. Finally. Leave me alone, will ya? This is the good part. Hey, if they gave a badge for... Well, you wasted a lot of time for nothing. But at least you got to see Karen up close. Always wanted to see what a real dead body looks like. You lucky duck. Good. Finally.
Hello, dear. How are you today? Did you hear what happened at the barber shop? Someone broke into Pastorelli's salon and took his antique barber's pole. The next morning, Pastorelli touched some live wires that the thief left lying around and was electrocuted. Well, that darn foreigner got what he deserved, if you ask me, coming into a nice little town like Harvest and stealing business. Heavens, if a bowl and scissors were good enough for your father, I don't see why decent working folk need a fancy wop styling their hair. That's how it goes. First you get a sissy trim, then bang, you're a communist. So, what's this about some remains you found in the graveyard?
I found the body of a little girl. I couldn't say for sure who it was, but I suspect it was Karen. Her skull and spinal cord had been ripped out of her body. The body was covered with dirt. I found it next to a hole, like someone dug her up and then mutilated her.
I imagine Edna was upset. Poor dear. I just hope this doesn't mean she's backing out of the bake sale. She's in for 3 dozen cookies, you know.
How can you be so cold?
One shouldn't allow one's personal tragedies to interfere with one's responsibilities. One should get back on one's feet. That's what sparkling new appliances and fruit baskets are for. Isn't it exciting, Steve? 5 days and 1,200 cookies later, the bake sale is already here. Where does the time fly?
Those 1,200 cookies. How many are you taking to the sale?
Oh, about 20. The rest were stale. But the effort wasn't wasted. It's for a good cause. Will you be at the school tonight? That's nice, dear. It's good to be open to new experiences.
Don't you think it's odd having a bake sale to pay for burying out-of-towners?
Gosh, hooties, what should we do? Leave them in the streets?
Of course we should bury them. But why do so many out-of-towners drop dead in harvest?
I have wondered about that, and I think it has something to do with the air.
But there's nothing wrong with the air. It's perfectly clean.
That's what I mean. Big city folk, they get so used to smog that clean air is a shock to their systems. Gets them every time. Don't forget to put the papers out for Jimmy. You know how he gets. Hello, dear. Did you hear the next? So
I found first.
How? One isn't
Though.
Oh, about. Kids never think of anything but themselves. You remember, this is for a good cause.
Don't you think?
Gosh,
Of course. But there's nothing.
That's what. Don't forget to put the papers out for Jimmy. You know how he gets.
Leave me alone, will ya? This is the good part. Good. Finally. There now, see how easy it is? Things are so much better between us when you remember the paper in the morning. And let's keep them that way.
Hello, Steve. Those PTA busybodies have hurt my business. Something terrible this week. Nobody's buying my cookies. They're all saving up for the big bake sale. Somebody stole the barber's pole from that nice Italian. Steve, can you imagine? And then they left live wires dangling in a puddle, which Pastorelli immediately stepped in and fried, the stupid dago. Heavens to Betsy. When it rains, it pours.
I can't talk now, son. I'm busy with this game.
I guess you heard that dang idiot Pastorelli went out and got himself electrocuted. Somebody stole the barber's pole. The alarm system triggered the sprinkler. There was water on the floor this morning, and the darn crook left exposed wires out. The Pastorelli came in, flipped the switch, and then zap! Well, maybe them aliens is hot for colored glass after all. Anytime, Steve.
Think about taking some of that siding off my hands, son. I'll cut you a nice price on it. I was the one what found Pastorelli this morning, after he stepped in the water with the live wires hanging out. His body was so burnt his arms and legs was blackened, fused together, and the sheep was well done too. Problem is, both was burnt so bad, and the flesh all crisp and distorted, limbs melded. You couldn't tell them apart. And well, I didn't want to take a chance on eating Italian. No, sir, I didn't. Nice to see you again, Steve.
Did you say hello to your father for me? Thank God for that, at least.
You know, with a slaughterhouse full of meat in town, what kind of nutcase would steal a barber's pole? Oh well, Pastorelli won't need it where he is. God rest his soul.
Hello, dear. Come to see Stephanie, have you? She's upstairs. Go right on up. Just remember, she's grounded until the wedding. The bake sale is tonight, 7 o'clock at the school. Lots of cookies and yards of floss. Hope to see you there. Give my regards to your parents. Can't say I'm much interested in that, Steve.
I'm glad to see you. I feel so alone, cooped up in here. I understand that bake sale is today.
Yeah, you'd think it was the second coming the way everyone is acting around here.
It's insane. The maniacal attention paid to this bake sale. Like all the women in Harvest came from the same cookie cutter. It's unnatural, unhealthy, almost a parody of how things should be. And through my window at night, I see my mother throwing out whole batches of cookies, like an automaton getting rid of its surplus product.
My so-called mother has been baking cookies all week, and then throwing them out. Better that than getting rid of us.
Wait around long enough. I have a feeling they'll get to it. I don't know if you heard or not, but Mr. Pastorelli, the barber, he's dead. Looks like somebody stole a barber's pole from him, then left the exposed electrical wires and some water on the floor. Pastorelli walked in, flipped on the lights, and... Know anything about that? Mr. Swell came by. I heard him telling my father about it. He said it smelled like roast pork.
Well, these things happen.
Especially around here. Come back and visit me soon, okay? I'm glad to see you. I understand.
Yeah. Better.
Wait, I don't... Oh my God! Steve, that was no little prank! A man died!
It was an accident. Forgot about the live wires in the water.
That doesn't change the fact that you killed him. This initiation killed him.
It was just an accident.
An accident which wouldn't have happened if not for the lodge. Don't you see? I'm beginning to think that the lodge poisons everything it touches. Harvest, even you.
I didn't create this situation.
Are you sure?
No. But however it started, I'm gonna see it through to the end.
Vandalism, theft, manslaughter. What's next, Steve? Murder? Look, I know in the beginning I suggested you might check out the lodge. I was more worried about getting out of here than anything else. But now that I know you, I'm worried about you too.
I'm fine.
A man is dead because of you. How can you be fine? You've got to stop this. Tell me, is anything positive going to come out of this lodge initiation crap?
Yeah, or escape, hopefully.
It just seems to me that this order of yours is getting you in deeper and deeper trouble.
They can't make me do anything I don't want to do.
No, but maybe when it's all said and done, you'll want to do anything.
You've got to trust me.
Come back and visit me soon, okay?
Sorry, Steve. Too tired to talk right now. I just gave the Tucker a tune-up. I'll talk to you later. So Pastorelli's barber pole got stolen. Big deal. Now me, I know tragedy. Of course, Pastorelli got electrocuted, but at least his pain is over. Bye now. Sorry, Steve. Bye now.
Young man, I do hope you'll attend the bake sale and spend heavily. It's for the needy, you know.
Sure. And all they have to do to benefit is die.
A ditch makes a poor resting place. You'll need to learn that, if you ever want to leave Harvest.
You make it sound like I have a choice.
A choice that is rapidly vanishing. Join the lodge, Stephen, while you may. I'd say it's been a pleasure, but I find the company of the living so wearisome. Young man, It seems that, like some elephant's graveyard, people of low station come to Harvest to die. They simply drop dead, penniless, and they all need burials. Like that corpse in the chapel, all dressed up and nowhere to go. No mourners, no point. But I still must provide them with prompt burials by town charter, and absorb the losses myself. God knows, by putting these people up at the Wayward Hotel, I do more than my fair share. So why must I pay for the coffins and burial materials as well? My losses to the dead are substantial. Hopefully the bake sale will offset some of them. The corpse reclining in the chapel right now is a prime example of the difficulties I face. For unfathomable reasons, this bum decided to wander into Harvest and summarily drop dead.
Just like that.
Indeed. He died of purely natural causes. Of that I have no doubt.
But why come to Harvest to die? You say this happens often. Isn't that a little too much of a coincidence?
I've often puzzled over the situation myself. Though I can assure you, young man, that nothing untoward is happening in Harvest. On the contrary, it's an indication of our compassion that I put up hobos in the Wayward Hotel, and the Order of the Harvest Moon mandates their prompt burial, even when they are without family or means, and when it entails losses on my part. I'd say it's been a pleasure, but You can't have that, Stephen. I need it for my work. And may I say you're a rude young man for attempting to steal it.
I was only going to borrow it.
Indeed. And have you anything I could hold as security?
About the fact that you lied to me about that corpse in the other room. John Doe?
I'm sure I don't know what you mean.
If he just dropped dead, where did all those slashes come from?
I don't know what slashes you're referring to.
They were there.
Do you have any proof of these wild claims? Any tangible evidence? If not, I suggest you leave me to my work. I'd say it's been a pleasure. Ah, you've taken up photography, I see. Now why on earth would you choose such a grotesque subject?
That John Doe you've got boxed up in the chapel? He didn't just drop dead. Someone helped him take the plunge.
You may be right. I'm a mortician, not a medical examiner.
You don't have to be to know that being ripped to shreds can be detrimental to your health.
This is not something you want to be looking into, young man. Got the goods, have you? You're in harvest, my young friend. Have you tried the road out of town yet? Do so, and you may question exactly who has who.
Look, are you going to tell me what I want to know, or do I go to the sheriff with these pictures?
That would be a grave mistake, I assure you. I've told you all I can. My losses have been substantial of late, so I can't offer you money. The only thing I can give you in exchange for the photographs is my tube of astro glue. I do suggest you take it, for it's all you'll get from me. Be sure and tell Dwayne hello for me. Ah, you've taken
that
You don't... That's what we all want.
What game are you people playing?
A game we win or lose together.
Look, are you going to tell me what I want to know, or do I go to the sheriff with these pictures?
That would be a grave mistake, I assure you. I've told you, I do suggest you take it. A wise decision. When a wasp's nest is stirred up, it is seldom the wasps who grieve later. Young man, we really have nothing to say to each other. I'd say it's been a pleasure.
I can't talk now. The dishes are stacked up and back, and I better take advantage of the lull. Tonight's the bake sale. I'd promised to make brownies, but now with Karen gone, well, I just can't bear to go. I can't focus on anything. Now the diner is all I have, and I feel lost when I'm not here. Mr. Pastorelli was electrocuted. He's dead. It looks like some thief wanted his barber's pole but didn't think of the consequences.
Maybe it's what the guy had to do. Maybe whoever it was really needed that barber's pole bad.
That's no excuse for hurting someone else. Even if Pastorelli were alive now, his heart would be broken. And what's a little profit compared to that?
Seeing you here again, one would think you'd never graduated. Nostalgia is my breast just swells with pride whenever I think about the PTA's valuable service in this community. Hope to see you at the bake sale tonight. When I went to get my hair trimmed this morning, Imagine my surprise when I learned that the barber shop had been burglarized, and worse, that Mr. Pastorelli had been electrocuted. Harvest mourns the loss of an irreplaceable citizen. All of us will feel the loss only with the passage of time. Drop in again soon. Adult education is a wonderful thing, as is adult quality time.
Stephen, I'm glad you're here. As a grad, that discipline. Remember, Stephen, tonight is the PTA bake sale. You'll be there, won't you? That's good. I hope to see you there. I really do. Stop by anytime, Stephen. Stephen, remember, other things? My, that doesn't sound like a smiley bear thing to say. More like a sulky bear, right, class? Try to make it, Stephen. Don't disappoint me. Stop by anytime, Stephen.
What were you thinking, attacking someone like that, with so many witnesses around? You'll have plenty of time to think about it, boy.
Somebody help me! What do you people want from me?
Too late for that, boy. Ain't it, Sergeant?
Indeed it is, Sheriff. Answers may only be found in the lodge, and you must be alive to seek them. And here it is, the object Dodd, imported Venetian glass and Italian dreams. You have done well. An unfortunate side effect that Pastorelli was electrocuted because you left live wires in a puddle on the floor. But as those with affectations of worldliness say, c'est la vie. Pastorelli's own incompetence caused his unfortunate accident. What does it matter that you left live electrical wires hanging in the water on the floor? If he hadn't cross-wired the alarm system to the sprinklers, he'd be alive today. Of course, you only wanted the bowl, but hardly matters now. Your final assignment is to set a fire in DNA's diner and let the French fry where they may. So close, and yet so far. What a pity. Strange to find a murderer so squeamish about a little fire. But to each his own, I suppose. Tonight, the bake sale commences. Soon, the annual harvest blood drive will be at hand. When sacrifice will be the order of the day. Your time in harvest grows short. And here it is, yes, a barber, cut down in his prime. Of course, you only wanted the bowl, but that hardly matters now. Your final assignment is to set a fire in DNA's diner and let the French fry where they may. Yes, I suggest you succeed. Beyond that, you must find your own answers. Members of the Order must be resourceful and cunning. So must you be to become one with them.
Hello, Steve. So nice to see you.
Mercy, what a terrible thing to say. Isn't it, ladies?
Yes, terrible.
Buy some cookies? It's for a good cause.
Why, I never. Isn't that right, ladies?
Yes, never. What a good boy you are. Have a cookie. Derelicts and bums who wander into town who don't have enough money for a decent burial.
They deserve to be buried. It's the Christian thing to do.
That's awful nice of you. But why do so many derelicts and bums die in harvest?
Don't be such a wise apple, Steve.
Ladies, someone has just burned down the TV station.
On the night of our bake sale?
Okay, Steve. Consider your get-out-of-jail-free card used. You're free to go.
Damn it.
You can't have that, Stephen. I need it for my work. And may I say...
On his own?
Indeed.
About the...
I'm sure I...
If he just dropped...
I don't know what
they were...
Do you have... I'd say it's...
Yeah.
Welcome to our order, brother. The hand that grips my fist. Stephanie.
What is it now?
Hank?
What?
Why are you sitting in front of that blank TV?
Someone burnt down the TV channel. There's nothing on. Nothing on.
Honestly, Hank, you're acting like an alcoholic. I told you all that TV would hurt you.
Watching TV don't hurt me, Mom. But not watching TV hurts bad. If I find out who burnt down the TV station, I'll make him wish he was one of those damn Indians. Good. Finally.
Hello, dear. How are you today? I suppose you heard about DNA's diner burning down. Poor Edna. First she loses her little girl and then this. The nerve of some people burning down the TV station to detract from our bake sale.
I doubt the perpetrator did it just to annoy the Harvest PTA.
Coincidence? I don't think so. Just 6 months ago, the newspaper building went up in smoke. Obviously, there's a firebug on the loose. Either that or a communist. Steve, I'm so scared. Just ask Colonel Monroe at the missile base. He'll tell you. Now that the bake sale's over, I just don't know how I'll fill my time. Oh, I feel so useless. My goodness. What's wrong with her? My goodness. Oh, it's not as bad as it looks. You just pop them back in. See? As good as new. That tarantula she ate must have had wasp eggs in it.
Don't you think we should get her to a doctor?
What for? She's got her mother. How silly I was, feeling useless just because there are no more cookies to bake. I can still rear my brood. This is a sign, Steve. I have a purpose again.
Glad to see you're feeling better.
Mind, that fire still burns my britches. First the newspaper building, then DNA's diner, then WHAR. I sense a pattern. And any pattern I can't make a dress out of is no darn good. We took a black eye on the bake sale, but I'm sure the Harvest PTA annual blood drive will be more successful. Overall, we made about $200, hardly enough to bury a dead horse, and definitely not enough to cover the annual blood drive.
Annual blood drive, huh?
If you knew how much blood we get, you'd be more impressed. Donations are mandatory, Steve. If you're still here come Sunday, you'll be expected to give.
Until it hurts, I suppose.
Until it hurts. Even Hank will have to donate. Of course, lodge members are exempt. Remember that.
Hey, either way, no one's sticking me with the needle.
We don't use needles. Don't forget to put the papers out for Jimmy. You know how he gets.
There now, see how easy it is? Things are so much better between us when you remember the paper in the morning. And let's keep them that way.
Did you say hello to your father for me? Thank God for that, at least.
Steve! Providence is smiling down on Marvin J. Potsdam Jr. today. The lodge called. They're reviewing my application in light of some new qualifications that have been called to their attention. Isn't that strange? You lose some meat, and you gain some meat. What a strange and wonderful world. Steve, I got my invitation. I'm going to be a member of the Order of the Harvest Moon. I hope so. No one knows what it's like inside, but I'm sure there's secret handshakes, special signals, and always lots of meat. You should really join, Steve. I have a feeling you'd be prime material, but you better hurry, because opportunity only knocks once. And if you don't grab the brass ring, bam! You've missed the train. Harvest will never be the same without DNA's diner, or without DNA, for that matter.
Did you say hello?
It's very important. Tell him. Tell him that I hope he gets better soon, and don't forget to remind him about his promise regarding the meat. Steve! None of your beeswax. If you're smart, you'll figure it out on your own. And believe you me, Buster Brown, you want to figure it out. You really do. Harvest will never be the same without DNA's diner, or without DNA, for that matter.
Why not go upstairs and talk to Stephanie? She'd enjoy the company. And while you're upstairs, feel free to floss. Sorry, Steve. I'm too upset to talk right now. I can't believe anyone would burn down the TV station the night of the bake sale. I just hope nothing will stop the Harvest blood drive. And I don't think that anything can. I'm not one to gossip, but I'm sure you've heard that DNA's diner burned down. But did you know she killed herself when she found out? Her and her daughter, too. I hear the sheriff suspects the fire was set. If you ask me, whoever burned down the diner is a murderer, just the same as if he'd blown Edna's brains out personally. Thank you for your honesty, Steve. That shows character. Go ahead and help yourself to refreshments while I call the sheriff.
You're gonna turn me in?
Of course, dear. Confessing to a crime shows honesty as well as stupidity. One thing we don't need more of. Hello, Sheriff. Mrs. Potsdam here. Steve took Stephanie's bones. Yes, he's right here. The sheriff says hello, Steve. He'll be coming by to pick you up. Now tell me, Dwayne, how have you been?
Somebody help me! What do you people want from me?
Too late for that, boy. Ain't it, Sergeant?
Indeed it is, Sheriff. Answers may only be found in the lodge, and you must be alive to seek them.
Why not go upstairs and... Sorry, her... Not at all. She wouldn't have killed herself if not for the fire. No, all in all, someone murdered her. And I hope he's happy. Give my regards to your parents.
I'm glad to see you. I feel so alone, cooped up in here. I saw the TV station go up from my window. It lighted up the whole town. It looked like hell. I wished it would consume the whole damn place. And me with it.
Don't talk like that.
I'm sorry. I just can't stand it anymore.
I wish there was something I could do.
There he is. Make love to me. You wouldn't be taking advantage of me, Steve. I need to be close to someone right now. I'm so lonely.
I know. But I can't.
I guess I understand. But I can't say I like it. I heard that DNA's diner burned down.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Did you torch it, Steve? This had the stamp of another lodge initiation stunt.
Maybe so, but I had nothing to do with it.
Thank God for that. She hung herself, you know. Come back and visit me soon, okay? I'm glad to see you. I saw the TV station.
Don't talk.
I'm sorry.
I wish there...
There he is. Make love to me. Do it to me. Now. I'm glad to see you. I heard that DNA's diner burned down.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Did you torch it, Steve? Jesus. Edna hung herself. Congratulations. Before you were just a vandal and a thief. Now you're a murderer.
Ah, bullshit! I just set a fire, that's all. Hey, Edna hung herself. That's why they call it suicide.
That's a fine distinction. Hone it any finer and you'll wind up cutting yourself. Come back and visit me soon, okay? I'm glad I heard that.
Why are you looking at me?
Did you? Jesus. Steve, what's happening to you?
I don't know. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of all this.
No matter the price, right? Do you mean it?
Yeah. I'm ashamed of the things I've done.
Then you'll stop the initiation process?
Yeah.
Come back and visit me soon, okay? I'm glad
What?
did. Jesus. Steve.
I don't know.
No matter. Make it without me then. I see the road you're on and I don't like it. What good will it do to lose Harvest if you lose yourself too? I think you'd better go, Steve. We'll talk later. Come back and visit me soon, okay?
Sorry, Steve. DNA's diner burned down. What a shame. Women running things, that's the problem. If she'd had a man around, that fire never would have happened. What a waste. Damn terrible thing. That business with the TV station. I can't sleep now. Keep waking up in a cold sweat. I'm thinking of getting some fireproof aluminum siding for my garage. Think that's a good idea? Bye now.
Young man, the WHAR fire is just another example of the vagaries of my profession. Odd, after such a catastrophic conflagration, not to have any fatalities. Disappointing, in a way. I might have gotten some paying customers for a change. I'd say it's been a pleasure, but I find the company of the living so wearisome.
Boy, the way you keep, looks like we've got us a mini crime wave on our hands. Just got a report about another act of vandalism. Maybe related to the Tucker incident and the fire station robbery. Someone broke into Pastorelli's barbershop and took his pole. Next morning, Pastorelli touched some live electrical wires that were left dangling, and zap, no more Barbara. What was just an act of vandalism has just become a case of manslaughter. I don't like it. Harvest used to be such a nice little town. Someone went and torched Edna's diner. Any evidence went up with the fire. And Edna, she hung herself. You see what happened to Harvest TV station? Oh, this time that little firebug is gone too goddamn far, boy. That wasn't no goddamn newspaper building. That was a telecommunications complex. Somebody's gonna pay for this. Pay through the nose. Stop on by any time, Steve.
I've tried so hard to find an excuse to keep on fighting, but I can't go on alone. All I had was the diner and Karen. Now that I've lost both, I know that there's only one way out. I'm sure you won't be able to understand the depth of despair that would enable me to put a rope around my neck and jump into the void. But even now I feel the heavy weight of the rope around my neck. And as I write this, I'm standing precariously on the edge of the counter, inches from the end. Please, when you remember me, I want you to.
Say, can you spare a dime for a buckaroo who's down on his luck? The whole shebang just went up in flames, and I'm looking to mosey on to greener pastures, where the sunset's always golden, and there's always another savage to kill. Say, can you... The whole shebang just...
Seeing you here again. When it rains, it pours. Isn't that so? First, Edna goes through all that with her daughter. Then she loses her Dinah. If that happened to me, I'd hang myself. Drop in again soon.
Stephen, I'm glad that discipline. Ah, Stephen, you're just in time. I was about to administer a lesson in good citizenship to these youngsters. I'm sure one of these precious darlings burnt down the television station. And if the little shits could talk, I'm sure I'd find out who. But as it is... I guess everyone will have to take my special civics course again. Stop by anytime, Stephen.
Halt! Who goes there?
It's just me, Steve.
What do you want? Did the llamas send you? I knew it. They won't leave me alone. Them and the kookaburras. 9! 9! Halt! Who goes there?
It's just me, Steve.
What do you want? Did the llamas send you? That's good. Someone has to keep them in check. I'm glad you stopped by again. I want you to infiltrate those firemen, mister. Remember, duck and cover. Halt!
It's just me.
What do you want? That's good. I remember you. Thank God for that. Your next assignment is to infiltrate the lodge before it's too late. Get it at all costs, mister. God help us all. Remember, duck and cover.
Think about taking some of that siding off my hands. The TV station burning down's been good for business. Lots of folks are thinking of investing in aluminum siding. Nice to see you again, Steve.
I can't talk now, son. I'm busy with this game. Ain't that a kick in the head? First we lose the only barber in town, then poop. No more diner either. Don't that beat all? And now that the TV station's burned down, maybe folks will get off their duff and get outdoors. Live a little.
Maybe take up alien hunting. Say, Clem, will aluminum siding protect you from them alien sensor jobbies?
Nope. You show up on their radar as a hunter surrounded by aluminum siding. Trust me, lead's the ticket.
Just my luck.
Anytime, Steve.
Sorry, son. No time to talk. Hello there, young man. What's the good word?
Someone burned WHAR down last night.
Really? I hadn't heard anything about it. And since I don't have a TV, I didn't notice it was off. Really? Next time you post, don't forget the zip code.
Hello, Steve. I don't mind telling you, when I heard what happened to the diner, I went out and got me extra insurance right away. I have no desire to wind up dangling from my rafters like Edna. Believe you me. Steve, did you see the fire? As I was watching the TV station go up, I was reminded of the old Sentinel building. When you think about it, you know, 2 communication complexes going up in smoke, you have to wonder if it was a coincidence.
TNA's diner is no more, as is Edna herself. She hung herself as soon as she realized what had happened to her beloved establishment. A true entrepreneur and a credit to her nation. Her suicide was an unforeseen byproduct, predictable by no one. She killed herself. She made her choice. If you were a catalyst, join the rest of the world. We all live off the deaths of others. Still, you sought to torch her diner, and torched it is. You have proven yourself a worthy candidate for initiation. Regardless, having completed the trials, an invitation shall be forthcoming. In the meantime, be patient. Protocols must be observed before initiation may commence.
How I recognize the sign?
You will know when you receive the invitation. Bring it here, and your initiation shall begin. DNA's diner is she hung. Come now. Anyone who spoke with her for 5 minutes would have known what a tragedy the destruction of her diner would be. Still, you sought to torch her diner. This was only a trial to determine your worthiness for testing. Your initiation into the mysteries of the harvest will soon begin. In the meantime, be patient.
How I recognize that?
You will know when you receive the invitation. Bring it here, and your initiation shall begin.
What is it now? Good. Finally.
Hello, dear. How are you today? Oh, dear, I just heard what happened to Stephanie.
What do you mean? What happened to her?
You haven't heard? Well, young man, you march right over there this instant. She's your fiancée, after all.
Think about taking some... Nice to see you again, Steve.
I can't talk now. Anytime, Steve.
You can't go into Stephanie's room till the sheriff gets here. I couldn't say. It's so embarrassing. Feel free to help yourself to refreshments till the sheriff arrives. You can't go into He's upstairs, outside Stephanie's room, waiting for the sheriff. Why not go up and chat with him? I'm fixing something for Dwayne. And there's dental floss in the medicine cabinet.
Guess I can forget about the meat, huh?
What do you mean?
Your dad must have pulled some strings. Be sure and check Stephanie's pillow, you lucky bum.
What the hell are you talking about?
You'll see once the sheriff gets here. Stephanie. Things'll never be the same now. Guess I'll be watching TV nights.
Okay, you can come in now, son.
My God. Is that what I think it is?
Yep, it's a spinal cord.
Is it Stephanie?
I can see a resemblance, but I can't be sure.
More pie, Sheriff?
Pie? Don't you realize what's happened?
Oh, indeed I do. I can just hear the tongues wagging at the PTA. Was it suicide?
Never heard of anyone pulling their own spinal cord out before. Off the record, I'd have to say no. No, all in all, I'd say this was death by natural causes.
Natural causes?
You can't live without a spinal cord, son. Nothing unnatural about that. Think I will have some more pie.
Right away.
I can't believe this. This is horrible.
Believe me, you get to the point to where this is routine. Now the only clue we got is that card on our pillow. Take a look at it.
This is practically a confession.
Confession to what, son?
Murder. Isn't that what you're here to investigate?
Son, you don't investigate natural deaths. No point.
Then I'll get to the bottom of this myself.
Yeah. I'm sure you will.
More pie, Sheriff?
Don't mind if I do.
Hello, Steve. Have some pie? Well, what family doesn't have its little problems? If it's not poor dental hygiene, it's a spinal column on the bed. Hello, Steve. Have some pie? Well, hello, Steve. No, Steve. We're going to put her in the crypt. Keeping bodies in the house is just not sanitary.
I don't suppose it'd hurt for you to take the card, seeing as it was addressed to you. Shucks, I'm sorry I had to read it in the first place, but that's my job. Say, I wonder if there's more pie. Can't allow you to take her remains, boy. What kind of sicko are you, anyway?
I'm so hungry, Steve. So hungry. If I'd been an astronaut, I could afford all the meat I want. The red kind. And the young, pink kind, too.
What is it now? So, I guess you're not getting married after all. Guess it's hard to tell when you don't got a face. So, was it pretty gross? I hear she was all tore up, with an eyeball hanging out. Did you wonder where the other eye went? Did you look under her bed? See it staring back at you with the dust bunnies and the roaches?
Can't say that I did.
Shoot, you're no fun anymore. You need to loosen up. Watch some more TV, or you're gonna wind up like that Indian. Good. Finally.
Hello, dear. How are you today? I just heard what happened to Stephanie. What a shame. Would you like some toast from our brand new Crandall toaster with auto browning control?
couldn't eat now. I saw what was left of her. It was horrible.
I'm sure it was, dear. I guess this reshuffles the deck, doesn't it?
What do you mean?
Well, the wedding is off for one thing, and Mr. Potsdam must be so disappointed. Going to the bathroom will never be the same for him again. I'm sure Mr. Potsdam was heartbroken. He's been trying to get his hooks into your father's meat for years. It was a fair swap, his daughter's meat for ours, but then again she's looking rather lean these days, isn't she? Heavens, I can't imagine why I said that. I suppose your next step will be the lodge, right? I just assumed you'd be curious about what happened to Stephanie.
She had her skull and spinal cord yanked out of her body. Isn't that obvious?
Maybe, but who says those remains belong to Stephanie?
So you think she might still be alive? That they took her into the lodge for some reason?
Who am I to lecture you? You're a big boy now. Do what you want.
Everything seems to come back to the lodge, doesn't it? Whether Stephanie's kidnapped or dead, I know they're behind it somehow.
The ways of the Order are mysterious, but they've given you an invitation, something rare and precious. And if you want to learn the truth, you should use it. Stop speaking nonsense, dear. Don't forget to put the papers out for Jimmy. You know how he gets. Stop wasting my time, young man.
Can't allow you to take her remains, boy. What kind of sicko are you, anyway?
What is it now? So. Mom, Steve called me a bad name.
You stop that right now, Steve. You know Hank is sensitive about his size.
So, was it pretty gross? I hear she was all tore up, with an eyeball hanging out. Did you cry? Big girly tears. When you saw all that stuff that used to be inside her thrown on a bed like garbage? Did you wonder, when they yanked out her backbone, if her eyes rolled around, and if her spine flopped like a worm on a hook?
Shut up.
Shoot, you're no fun anymore. You need to loosen up. Watch some more TV, or you're gonna wind up like that Indian. Good. Finally. What is it? So good one, Steve. I'm glad you're not a total doof. So, was it pretty gross? Did you wonder?
Can't say that I did.
Shoot. Good. Finally.
Hello, dear. How are you today? I just heard what happened to Stephanie. What a shame. Would you like some toast from our brand new Crandall toaster with auto browning control?
Couldn't eat now. I saw what was left of her. It was horrible.
I'm sure it was, dear. I guess this reshuffles the deck, doesn't it?
What do you mean?
Well, the wedding is off for one thing, and Mr. Potsdam must be so disappointed. Going to the bathroom will never be the same for him again. I'm sure Mr. Potsdam was heartbroken. He's been trying to get his hooks into your father's meat for years. It was a fair swap, his daughter's meat for ours, but Then again, she's looking rather lean these days, isn't she? I'm glad you haven't lost your sense of humor about all this. I suppose your next step will be the lodge, right? Mother knows best, dear. And besides, I heard you found the lodge invitation on her pillow.
I'm so confused. Nobody's doing anything to solve this murder.
Don't be so lazy, young man. If you're curious about what happened, you ought to accept the invitation. Oh, young people, always so judgmental.
Mother, the Order is made up of kidnappers at best, murderers at worst.
Dear, you've got to learn to roll with life's little surprises. Your first step, your first kiss, a spinal cord left on your bed. All these things are learning experiences. Just like the time I got my first self-cleaning oven. Talk about being thrown for a loop. I'm sure Mr. Potsdam was heartbroken. I'm glad, I suppose. Mother,
so
don't be... That's nice, dear. It's good to be open to new experiences. I'm sure... Heavens, I suppose you're... I just assumed you'd be curious about what happened to Stephanie.
She had her skull and spinal cord yanked out of her body. Isn't that obvious?
Maybe, but who says those remains belong to Stephanie?
So you think she might still be alive? That they took her into the lodge for some reason?
Who am I to lecture you? You're a big boy now. Do what you want.
Everything seems to come back to the lodge, doesn't it? Whether Stephanie's kidnapped or dead, I know they're behind it somehow.
The ways of the Order are mysterious, but they've given you an invitation, something rare and precious. And if you want to learn the truth, you should use it. Don't forget to put the papers out for Jimmy. You know how he gets.
What? Oh, it's you, son. I told you not to come in here. It's too risky. No! Leave that there. If any of it turns up missing.
Marv, what's going on in there?
Go! 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 What? This is no time to talk gibberish. Get out of here. Now!
Think about taking some of that. My condolences on Stephanie, Steve. Sweet child. I used to bounce her on my knee.
That's funny. She never mentioned remembering you.
Well, she was pretty young in those days. Nice to see you again, Steve.
I can't talk now, son. I'm busy with this game. That's a tough break, that Stephanie business. If you ask me, she was the victim of a UFO. Just like them cattle mutilations, they stripped her and left what they couldn't use. You see, they use what the doctors call hemoglobin in the blood as fuel for their saucers, and the eyeballs are spark plugs.
They left one of her eyeballs, Clem.
Well, they only need one spark plug, Pete. They's advanced. Yes, sirree. Them aliens is wily. Anytime, Steve.
Can't talk now, Steve. Oh, Steve, how could this terrible thing happen? I'm so sorry. Listen, I know you were mainly taking this job because of the wedding, but for your father's sake, I hope you'll still come to work here. What this business needs is new blood. Don't be such a stranger, Steve, and my best to your dad.
Seeing you here again. My condolences, Steve. When Stephanie was a little girl running through these halls, who would have believed something like this could happen to her? There's always a reason, big guy. There's always a reason. Drop in again soon.
Stephen, I'm glad you're here. That discipline forms... Class, I want you all to remember that Stephanie Potsdam sat at the same desk that you're sitting in now. And look what happened to her. Mind your P's and Q's, unless you want to wind up like her. Right, Stephen? Really? And I take it you don't believe in predestination?
I don't know.
If you still haven't joined the Order by the time the Harvest Blood Drive rolls around, you will know firsthand.
This lodge, what do you know about it?
The building itself, like Harvest, was constructed with a specific purpose in mind. That noble intent is known only to those within the Order. You're at about the right age to join them, Stephen, and you will do so if you care about your future. Stop by any time, Stephen. Stephen, class, mind your It's the or else part that I really like. Isn't that right, class? Stop by any time, Stephen.
I'm sorry. I don't... Oh my. That's a right shame about Stephanie. Did I tell you? She reminded me of this girl I seen in one of my French postcards afore the missus burnt them up and took the broom to me. Stephanie was such a nice girl. I went over to have a look at the body, but there weren't nothing left attached, hardly. I always wondered what she looked like naked. Reckon someone found out, huh, kiddo? Anytime, kiddo. Young man, your fiancée's death was no doubt a tragic affair for those who knew her, loved her, and so forth. But to me, you simply can't get a nicer assignment. No organs left to remove, no fluids to drain, solvent parents, and no coffin to fuss over. I wish everybody could die as Stephanie did. Although it's true, only her hairdresser will know for sure now. I'd say it's been a pleasure, but I find the company of the living so wearisome.
Sorry, Steve. Steve, I was sorry as all get out to hear about Stephanie. She was a sweet young thing. I used to watch her walk down the street to school every morning, standing on 2 medium-sized apple crates and squinting through the crack in the fence on those days when it didn't hail. I can still imagine her, so pure and innocent, sashaying down the street, while I tried to balance on the rickety crates and pressed against the fence with one hand to steady myself. She never stopped to say hi. That was probably just because I was totally hidden. I'd like to think that was the case. I'll miss her. Bye now.
It's not often.
Are you the Wasp Woman?
I am Ted.
I don't...
The politic. It's not often.
You received the invitation, but you have not brought it.
I don't understand.
The invitation was not the card, but the spinal cord. It must be presented to me ere I allow you to enter. The mysteries are only disclosed to members of the Order, not initiates. You were provided an invitation. Bring me the skull and spinal cord if you would pass to the world beyond. You received the invitation, but you have not brought it.
I don't understand.
The invitation. I expect nothing. What must unfold will. You were provided an invitation. Bring me the skull and spinal cord if you would pass to the world beyond.
Damn it. Oh, man. Well, that didn't work. You have done well. Now let the initiation commence. As your mystagogue, it is requested and required that I turn over this sacred dagger to you to aid you
test.
What is this?
You must now enter the lodge. Initiates find it a hostile place.
Are you supposed to help me or get me killed?
I'm starting you on the path of initiation to a very special, very exclusive brotherhood. I am merely the administrator of a test. Whether you view me as an enemy or a friend depends on how well you're prepared to pass.
This thing? You haven't said what it is.
It is a special weapon. Using it will be part of the initiation. The two are intertwined. Whatever occurs in here is relevant to the great question which you cannot help but answer. What is at issue is whether in answering the question you will find the answers you seek. You will encounter those intent on preventing or prompting your answer, depending on how you look at it. While the assumption is you want to live, dying is easy and provides its own answer, but not for you.
Just tell me, is Stephanie dead or being held within?
The membership director on the second level keeps track of such things.
Oh, great. Then you are against me.
I am the sergeant at arms. I am here to ensure that the protocols are observed. Deviation from a protocol shall result in punishment. Remember what I have told you. Now, let the initiation begin.